Hello, I'm Rythian, and this is my channel update video for April 2016. It's been a while since I did one of these. The last one was the January one, which was basically a channel retrospective over basically what happened the last year. I didn't do one in February, nor did I do one in March. I sort of felt that I didn't really have anything in particular to talk about at the time, so I just didn't do them. But now I do. The game currently on screen is Darksiders, a pretty excellent spectacle action fighter that's kind of similar to Zelda, actually. There's a lot of cool quests, new items that you get in the dungeon, and then you use them to defeat big ass bosses. It's very good. I've quite enjoyed what I've played so far. It's been on my games to play list for a long time. Generally, like, I end up getting so many good games, or just hearing about good games, and then it's like, oh, I need to play that, and then I almost like never do. But I finally started playing this one, and I've had a lot of fun. But that list, man, that list, it grows. I mean, at the moment, on my Steam library, I have like a whole bunch of games listed in under the Play Soon category. And this is by no means complete, but just to ramble off a bunch of the names: Alan Wake, The Beginner's Guide, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, City Skylines, Crusader Kings 2, Dark Souls 1, Darkest Dungeon, The Darkness 2, Darksiders, see the game, Darksiders 2, Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition, FTL, Hitman Absolution, Life is Strange, Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas, Ori and the Blind Forest, Pillars of Eternity, Prince of Persia The Forgotten Sands, Quantum Conundrum, Rogue Legacy, Shadowrun Dragonfall. I'm in the middle of that one. Actually, more than the middle. It's very good. Shadowrun Hong Kong, Tales from the Borderlands, To the Moon, The Walking Dead Season 2, and War for the Overworld. And again, there's probably more games that I just haven't gotten out of my way to actually put it on the list yet. So, there's so many games to play, you know. And a lot of times, and more new games come out, so you don't even get the time to finish these. It's crazy. But it's amazing. It's amazing to live in a world where there are so many awesome things for you to do. Which is why I always find it so weird when people go around saying like, oh my god, I'm so bored. Like, you live in a world of endless entertainment. Like, you have YouTube. There are literally billions of videos out there for you to watch. Some of them shit, some of them dumb, some of them funny, some of them smart, and some of them just amazing. You have the entire internet to browse. It's for everything. And most likely you have tons of great games to play. Like, not even just like random games, just like probably really good games that you just haven't gotten around to playing yet anymore. There is no excuse to be bored, like for most of us these days, I think. Because there are so many options for you to actually get entertained. One of those is watching Yogscast Rythian on the YouTubes. Or at least I hope so. I mean, one of the problem with this whole XCOM thing, right, is that if you don't like XCOM, then basically for the last 2 months, you haven't really wanted to watch my channel. Now, the idea is, of course, that, oh, I have a bunch of old videos and stuff you can watch. And yeah, that is actually true. But that's not how most people consider it. Like, the sad part about YouTube is that for the most part, people only look at what you've released, you know, recently or whatever. Not so much the 1,500 or so videos I've put out of millions and millions of games. Not millions, slight exaggeration there, but many, many, many games. If you've any interest, you can always go back. Hey, just go ahead and watch Bastion, like the first video game I really did a series on. Watch Alice Madness Returns, which was a great game, and one of the first times I got experienced in like keeping commentary up for a long adventure game of that kind. Maybe something story based, maybe something more action based, something funny. There are things for you to watch. But I understand if XCOM's not your thing, the channel's not been interesting for you for the last 2 months, and that's okay. But XCOM has seemed to go over well. 60 episodes, one every day for the last 60 days, without fail. So I consider that a pretty big success. I mean, if we're gonna go into the nitty-gritty about, you know, view numbers and stuff, it was definitely up there. You can sort of notice, though, the size of the channel has grown smaller since the last couple of times. You can, I mean, just look at the... Okay, you can't quite look at it now because obviously it's time to accumulate, but generally the numbers for XCOM EU and XCOM EW were higher than it was for this one. But that is just because the channel has become smaller, and that's just a realistic case of what it is. But I had lots of fun, and it did seem that people have had lots of fun. For the future, we'll see what the actual DLC brings. There will be some DLC that's kind of small, and that doesn't really warrant more videos. Maybe if something big comes along. I'm generally looking at something more than just DLC. I want an expansion pack like Enemy Within was for Enemy Unknown. That could be interesting to me, I think, where there's noticeably bigger things. Like Enemy Within put in like tons of new missions and stuff, and it put in gene mods and the mechs and stuff. That kind of stuff's pretty cool. So if something like that comes, I'm open for another playthrough. But other than that, I think it's time for XCOM to stay on the back burner a bit for now. Next up on the channel will be Nova Ops, the mission pack starring Nova in StarCraft 2. That's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. But it's only gonna be 3 missions, so only 3 videos. So, well, unless the missions are super long. So after that, I honestly don't know what to do. There's obviously, as I just went over, there are tons of games I want to play and stuff, but I don't know if all of them will be good for a video series or whatever. I might actually do a poll or something, or a suggestion thread on the subreddit, and ask people what they think, what they want to see, and so on. Because there's a couple of different options, and I don't really know where to go next. The obvious one would be Dark Souls, which is coming out next week, Dark Souls 3, and as a pretty big fan of Dark Souls 2, and a guy who's always said, oh man, I really need to go back and play Dark Souls 1, it seems like a pretty logical thing, but I don't know, man. It's a very different audience to most people. Like, the Dark Souls audience is pretty damn harsh, and they generally have no interest in people who aren't excellent at it. Not to mention that literally every other person in the universe is going to do something on Dark Souls 3 because it's big. It's going to be massive on Twitch, it's going to be massive on YouTube, and so on. So I feel like I wouldn't really add anything particular to it. Really, what it would probably be if I end up doing it is just like, yeah, I know everyone else is doing it and all that, but I want to play it and I want to have fun. And then the idea is that maybe people who like me and like my commentary or whatever on video games would enjoy some of it. So it would be maybe... I mean, it probably wouldn't be a full playthrough either way. I don't think that'll really work. It'll be like I'll do some stuff. Who knows? I don't know. I'll see about putting up a poll or something. That could be people actually answering questions and so on. Might end up streaming it a bit. That's another thing. I remember telling you guys about starting to stream again and so on, and then, as you might have noticed, I haven't streamed for a long while. Of course, that is with a slight caveat, because I have been streaming every week on the Yogscast channel every Monday. I've been streaming... first I was streaming 5 to 8, and then I was streaming 8 to 11, or well, 6 to 9 and 9 to midnight for me, but, you know, British times. I moved down after Duncan, which recently has become the Factorio show with Lewis and Duncan. Which has been kind of fun, I guess. It's mostly been not solo stuff. I've mostly been playing games like Tabletop Simulator or stuff with the people on Discord. And it's been fun. I've been having that sort of stuff. But streaming is interesting because it's a fair amount of time commitment to it, you know? And it's hard to actually get a sense of what people like and don't like. People seem to show up for some things and don't show up for some things. Interact a lot with some, don't like some. Donate tons for some things, not donate for some things. It's strange. I haven't been able to find the niche I want to find with streaming. I haven't been able to find something that really clicks with me and clicks with the audience. Because as much as I'd like to just do all this for fun when I feel like it, it's work. And work needs to be rewarding. And mostly it seems to be the way to get rewarded for streaming is to push for donations a lot. And make sure like that is properly incentivized, and you know, I don't know, I have a hard time doing that, and that is something I recognize as a failure in me. I'm not very good at actually getting people to donate to me. I don't know, it's because of my personality, whatever, but I have a hard time, like, quote-unquote, admitting that I, you know, need money or whatever, or that I want money, and that sort of thing. It's strange. It's even now, I'm almost feeling like uncomfortable talking about it. It's hard to get a feel for what to actually do when it comes to donations and things for streaming. But I'll hope to figure something out. But until I do, it's just more fun for me to just play games on my own, rather than be the public face outwards and talk to people and interact with everyone all the time and so on, and then, you know, several hours work and you end up getting, you know, $10 or whatever. This sounds so cynical. Like, even just now, just talking about it, like, oh, I don't get enough money, but it's work. You have to get rewarded for your work, you know. If not, I could just do something else. It's a strange subject, and it's hard for me to really get across what I mean about it without sounding too cynical. But yeah. Anyway, I'd like to do more streaming, but I needs to work. It needs to work for me. I need to feel like it's something I truly enjoy doing, and it feels like it's worth my time, when I couldn't just be working on other things or not working at all. So hopefully I'll find a balance for that soon enough, because then everyone will profit from it and have fun and have a great time. It's strange too, because like, knowing what games people will like to stream is hard to see as well. Like, because a lot of times people, they say they want a lot of board games, but they're not interested in Tabletop Simulator, or then they really like Tabletop Simulator one day when it involves like some games, and then it doesn't when it does the other. Then they say like they have a lot of, they just want, like, single player games are fun, but then they're not interested in that, and then they really like, it's so varied, and it's so hard to find something that clicks for everyone. Like Overwatch or shooters in general don't seem to be that big of a deal. But Overwatch is a huge game, and everyone seems to be excited about Overwatch, but not a lot of people seem to want to watch it. Similarly, Hearthstone is considered like a great game to watch, but not always. A lot of people also just go immediately, ugh, not more Hearthstone. It's strange. And I guess it's just, some people like different things. I mean, obviously I have my own opinions on what I think is fun to watch. Mostly I just watch Dota 2, and mostly it's tournaments. It's not really personal streams that much. So I guess there's no easy answer. Everyone just likes different things, I suppose. And that's fair. It's okay. But it does make it hard sometimes to figure out what to do. As a quote-unquote YouTuber, we are pretty much just scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. I mean, people wonder all the time, like, oh, why is there so much Minecraft? Oh, there's nothing but Gmod, nothing but GTA. It's because these things have proven to be popular. you put out a Minecraft video or a Gmod video or a GTA video and you get higher views. But then you put out like a video of like, oh man, I really like this game, this should be really fun, and it doesn't get anything. And then, yeah, there's something to be said for like, I just play games I think are fun, but it is better to play games. I'm pretty sure everyone would agree, even everyone who does this, that it's more fun to play games on your own than it is to play games for an audience. Because you get to be yourself and really just do what you want. You don't have to worry about, oh, am I taking too long? Maybe this part isn't too exciting. I need to make sure to keep talking to the chat or to the screen. I need to make sure I don't spend too much time in my inventory. You know, I can't take time to pause and tab out and talk to someone. There's a lot of things like that that you just can't do. So it's hard sometimes. I don't mean to whine and say like, oh, YouTubers have a hard job. I mean, we don't. We have a pretty goddamn great job. If you're one of the lucky ones that actually make a living doing this, like you're pretty blessed. But it is not just sunshine, roses, and lollipops. Like it is creatively exhausting at times. I mean, you probably heard from multiple people talking about like, oh man, I need to slow down. I've had like, you know, dealing with depression. I've had to do this. I was considering quitting. And then a lot of people who don't do this probably won't understand why, because to them it just seems like, why would you do this? You just talk over video games. It's great. But there is a lot of work, and it is mentally exhausting. And I mean, I'm not immune to that either. I've had a lot of times where I just feel like nothing's going anywhere. It's just getting worse, and I'm drained, really drained. I've been there for a while lately. I was really lucky that XCOM hit when it did, because I was just completely running out of creative energy and had nothing to do, nothing that really something I really wanted to do. And then XCOM hit, and I love XCOM, and I find it really easy to make videos on it. So basically 2 months straight I could just do XCOM and everything was great. But now that's over again, and I'm again sort of facing this position where I don't really know how to proceed. So if I do end up maybe sometimes not doing a video every day, the schedule might be slowing down, streaming may be sporadic, if any, then I hope you guys understand that, and it's not me being lazy. It's me struggling to figure out how to do what it is I'm doing. Because sometimes that's just an issue. And it's not that easy sometimes. But I could go more into that on any future hashtag real talk or something. But for now, I think this is it for this video. I think I've told you pretty much what's happened and what's the plan. So yeah, that'll be it. Thanks you all for watching and sitting through another ramble. And until next time, goodbye.